Hi, so you're thinking about moving to Arvada, Colorado. Well, today I'm going to give you a great map tour of Arvada, show you everything there is to know about Arvada, so you can see where its proximity is to the Denver metro area in relationship to everything else in Colorado, and give you kind of a walkthrough on my computer about Arvada, ins and outs, cool things, maybe not so cool things. So if this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Denver, or today Arvada, Colorado, make sure you subscribe below or tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to hear about all the current market conditions here in the Denver metro area. My name's Michelle Wise. My partner Cheryl Crown and the rest of our team are not here with us today. I do the map tour, so I'm going to take you around, show you, so you can make a great decision to figure out if Arvada is where you want to be. Now, while we are realtors here in the great state of Colorado, the purpose of these videos is mostly informational, just to kind of give you the lay of the land, let you know what's out there in each specific city and suburb around Denver, and again, just to help you understand if this might be the place you want to move next. So no pressure, we're just here today to inform. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we'll also give you some information about housing stats here in Arvada, as well as some census information to see if it would be a good fit for you. So with that, let's get started. So here we are in my computer on a Google map for Arvada, Colorado. So you will see from here, Arvada, here's Denver here in the middle, and Arvada sits just to the northwest of the Denver metro area. And it sits right up here. And that's a great location because where you sit with proximity it's just a fabulous location as far as the metro area goes. So you can see here, here's the entire Denver metro area. This little red section here is Arvada. And this green section over here is the mountains. So this is the mountains over here. And you'll see with that proximity, you're kind of smack dab in between Denver and the mountains. And so this is great if you love to get up to the hills, do some skiing, be outside, hiking, there's lakes, all of that. Another great location thing to point out here is that Arvada also sits with great proximity to Boulder. So Boulder is a hills town that sits on the northwest further section of the Denver metro area, but it has a lot of employment options. So when you're situated here in Arvada, you're between Boulder and Denver metro right here in this section right here. Kind of a crazy little circle there. My mouse didn't want to work, but you'll see that whether you go north or you go south, you're kind of in between the two, and you have great access to employment options. So if you're coming down to the tech center, which is down over here in this area, that's going to be a little bit of a haul for you. People do it, so not saying that you shouldn't, but you got great access to multiple employers. And the highway system they just put in here on this section right here is it's a toll road for HOV lanes. So you have that option, but along this Boulder Turnpike is what we call it. There's a lot of employers that sit over here in the Superior area up into Boulder. And that highway just underwent some massive renovations in the last several years to widen it because there is that demand for traffic to get up to Boulder from the Denver metro area. And so Arvada gives you access to that, but it also gives you some access to some other side roads to kind of cut up to it. As far as getting into Denver itself, you're going to need to kind of traverse your way down. The downtown section of Denver sits right here behind the Denver word. Oh, there you go. You can see a nice picture of it there. And, but you have quite a bit of options. And again, if you're coming from East Arvada, which is over here, you're probably talking in rush hour, maybe 20 minutes to get into downtown Denver. If you're coming over here from far Arvada, a lot of the locals call it that, you're gonna have a little bit more of a trek. So something to keep in mind, there's great housing. This eastern section of Arvada right there, you're gonna find more of the older portion of Arvada. older homes, they've been established for longer periods of time. Newer homes are up over here on the west side and over here on the far west side. Those are a lot of new homes that have been built in the last 20 years or so, and currently they're still building up in that direction. So, but there are pockets of different areas that give you variety as far as whether you're looking for something newer or something older. Again, you're going to have big trees, established landscaping over on the east side, newer locations, of course, a little smaller lots, and not as established landscape trees, things of that nature. So that is kind of the overall gist right there. Now, one of the great things about Arvada is they have this great little old historic downtown area. Let's go to the Arts and Humanities Centers. One of the things about Arvada that you'll learn when you're being here is Arvada has a very big cultural presence. So they have this Arts and Humanities, and it covers a nice part of the town right in here. It's got an outdoor amphitheater. It has a theater indoor where they have some big name plays that come. It's got art shows and arts exhibits and classroom space. So if that's something that's important to you, you'll really like living in Arvada for that part. You're not going to have to go all the way downtown in order to kind of get that cultural piece of things if you choose to live in Arvada. And so right in here, now that I've zoomed in, is Olde Town Arvada. It sits kind of right in this little section right here. And it's your typical old town little street area. It has restaurants and bars and little boutique shops. It's walkability. I even think part of the road is closed off there, so you can't drive through there. Great place for if you're a foodie and you like to have, variety of non-chain restaurants. Arvada has this here, and you can see this schoolhouse kitchen and libations. We actually stopped in there, and we'll show you in another video a little bit of video from that. But it's the building itself, I don't know if it's an actual schoolhouse. Would make sense that it might have been at one time, but its inside is decorated. This is an old library wall. They have a ladder. This is their bar, but all the chairs in there are old school chairs. They have desks hanging from the ceiling. Super cute little place, great food. And honestly, if you're a bourbon drinker, that place has some of the best bourbon selections and the biggest bourbon selections of any place I've really ever been in Denver. So they have great things there. They have, this area in this direction here is the I-70 corridor. I-70 it's our big interstate that runs across the state from Kansas all the way over here on the east, all the way into Utah on the west. So you've got great proximity to get out of Arvada if you're here in Arvada, if you're traveling. And then also I-25, which runs right here in this direction, which my thing's going to be in the way. Let me get that over. I-25 is this main stretch of highway right here that's going to kind of come down through the city all the way again up to Wyoming on the north and New Mexico on the south. And this is I-70 here that runs east and west that I was talking about. One thing I forgot to mention earlier in the video, which I normally cover, is its general proximity to other things. I talked about the mountains here. So you got mountains, you can get up to skiing, be there probably in an hour. They have some great ski resorts up here closer to Boulder that are actually, depending where you are in Arvada, you can probably get there in 45 minutes or so. The big ones are up here, Keystone, Vail, Breckenridge are all over here. You have to go past the Continental Divide, which is a range of mountains here. But yeah, you can get there within probably an hour, depending on traffic. But the one thing I wanted to touch on here that I didn't is the airport. So here is Arvada in the red, and this pocket right over here where this road ends over here to the right side of the screen, that is DIA. So if you're traveling to the airport for vacation or work, you've got great access. All you really have to do is jump on I-70 here, take I-70 all the way out to Pena, and Pena takes you straight into the airport. So from there, you've got to get through the city in this little section right here, but I would venture to guess, depending on traffic, if there's not a lot of traffic, depending on which side of Arvada you're coming from, you could probably make it to the airport in 20, 25 minutes, probably 30, 35 if you're battling a little bit of traffic, because this stretch of I-70, while they are doing a lot of renovations on it, it's going to be great. It was very narrow before and they're widening it, but you know how that goes with construction. It's going to lead to a little bit of delays because they have lanes closed and are working on it. But again, like any major big city, you can't go anywhere without construction. So you kind of figure it out as you go through. So let's zoom back in here to Arvada. A couple other things I wanted to show you is one of the things that people talk about with Arvada that it can be a negative that people kind of turn their nose up to a little bit and say, oh, that part of Arvada, you probably don't want to be there, which I'm not sure has any valid argument anymore, but it's got a little bit of a stereotype, is Rocky Flats here. Now on here, it's now called a wildlife refuge, which they have done an amazing job. There's so much out there to do. Open space galore, animals, wildlife, birds, coyotes, fox, you name it, it's out there and it's absolutely beautiful. But the history behind Rocky Flats is that it used to be an arsenal dump for, I don't know if it was nuclear waste or what, radioactive waste. That has all been cleaned up. It was a Superfund site. It has been completely cleared 100% by the government that it is safe. There are thousands of homes that have been built in this area around it, and it really leads to a beautiful neighborhood. So Denver metro area is growing quickly and fast, and a lot of homes don't have a lot of space because land is so expensive. And so, you know, they pack them in, and there's some neighborhoods in this area that are packed in, but they've done a really, really nice job of building where you have green belts and open space and park space. And a lot of this over here, you start to get up in elevation a little bit in the foothills, in the hills, I should say. And so some of these neighborhoods are built kind of up the side of a hill. So you'll have houses that have expansive, beautiful views, of course, west to the mountains, but also towards the north and the east, where you actually, you know, back up or side to this wildlife refuge now. And it offers amazing views and sunrises like you cannot imagine. Can you see that on my screen there? I mean, just look how beautiful that is. So, beautiful area. Those types of areas with those views and being so close to the mountains are very hard to find in Colorado because they are just in such high demand. And so right now they're building a lot out there, and you can get some great property that has those types of views and space. There's also several lakes. So Stanley Lake, not to be confused with Stanley Lake, which is in Denver, is up here. While it doesn't sit right in Arvada, you can see it buffers it, and beautiful location over there. And then there's also several little pocket lakes you can see here. Now, I don't know the names of all these little pocket lakes, but there's a lot of water from the runoff over on this side of town. You can see all these blues, even though we're not technically in Arvada over here, you can see that. So again, great outdoor space, just living with nature area. But you know, again, if you don't want that and you're looking for the city, they have a great variety of homes. There's townhomes, condos, apartments, single family homes, you know, probably starting in 400s. You can find some for less, but the condition may not be great, but you know, 400-ish all the way up to $1 million homes. And again, because you've got some of the topography of the hills, more older landscaping, these neighborhoods just have a lot of charm, just feel to them that you don't get in some other parts of the Denver metro area. And of course, it's got all the typical Costco's and Walmart's, grocery stores. So you're not far from any type of retail that you might need, no matter where you live. If you go further west, you're going to be a little further out. And so, but you know, it's just a matter of time till those neighborhoods start to come in and more development brings, you know, more retail type of things. So this is Arvada in a nutshell. You can't really go wrong with it. It's a great place. And let's go over some stats for Arvada for you now. So Arvada, you can see here from the United States Census Bureau, population in 2020, which is the most current reporting year, was 124,400. Income and poverty, the median income is just over $92,000. So great opportunity there for obviously job, location, workability, things of that nature. Employment rate 67%, and the education is high. It is part of Jeffco Public Schools, so you'll have great schools no matter where you are in Arvada. And then you can see their population average age, whoops, went too far. Average age is upper 30s. So great family communities. Again, great schools bring those families to the neighborhood. So that's kind of given in a credit to the school districts out there. Okay, so let's look at housing now. So we've got a median list price right now currently of $600,000. Price per square foot is about $268. So that's pretty standard across the metro area. You know, you're going to have ability to get into Arvada with this price point. So some pockets of Denver metro have much higher average median list or sales prices. So Arvada is a good option if you are wanting to come in and get something for, you know, a decent price, relatively speaking, for the state of Colorado. 600 is average, but you know, they do have a good variety, again, as I mentioned here in Arvada, of homes and prices. So that's what's going to be that benefit of Arvada. And the variety, again, is across the board. So obviously their smallest size place is a 1-bed, 1-bath at 600 square feet for only $55,000. That is unbelievable. I can't say that I've seen a house that low for a long time. So might be worth something checking out. And then again, it goes up to the multi-million-dollar price point, 11 beds, 14 baths. I can't imagine having 14 baths, but that's incredible. So 7,800 square feet, and it's 2.1 million. So honestly, for that square footage, that actually sounds kind of like a deal to me, given other neighborhoods in or other cities in Denver. So something great there. And let me go here. Here's a recent sale. I'll give you an idea. The sold fastest is probably sold in a day. Market here is really hot still. We are seeing some fluctuations in that, depending on, it's kind of a situation where it's house by house, listing by listing situation. Some sell in a day. Some are taking a little longer. So across the nation right now, real estate's a little crazy. I feel like we've said that for years and years now, but it's just always something new in real estate. So not for the faint of heart, but this one sold. Good example of an $828,000 house, 5 beds, 4 baths at 3,500 square feet. This one, my guess would be that it's the basement is included and the basement's finished to give you that square footage and the overall price point in bedrooms. I'm guessing off of the looks of that and knowing the area and knowing the real estate market right now, my guess is that house is around, you know, 2,000, 2,500 square feet with another 1,000 in the basement to give you that 3,500 that's finished. So that is it. You know, the market's, like I said, different house by house, block by block, listing by listing right now. So looking at this, it's still a buyer's market for sure, but I do take all these stats with a little bit of grain of salt, just based on experience and what we're seeing out there daily. And this is from February, and we're in March now. So little late stats there, but that's what we would talk about if you give us a call. So again, that's Arvada for us here today. Thanks for joining us. Again, don't forget to subscribe or tap the bell for notifications so that you can get all of our current videos as we drop them. We usually try to drop 2 or 3 a week, and we hope that you enjoy them and find them beneficial in getting a feel for what Denver as a whole offers city by city. And again, we're here to educate, but if you need some help, give us a call. We're happy to help. Have a good day. Talk to you later.